All right, everybody. We're going to do a video here on Tour 7 courses, just talking about Tour 7 in general. We're going to go through and I'm going to look at the holes and we'll break it down into groups. So we'll do a video on Santa Ventura, the Oasis, and the Sunshine Glade holes. And then we'll go through on Golf Clash Notebook and look at the holes so that we can really kind of build some strategy up. And then I'll go out, and as I shoot these holes, I'll start posting videos for them. I'll try and take multiple lines when I do it. Some of these holes, there's really only one real way to go at it, but I will try and shoot videos from multiple angles and give you multiple looks at each hole if I can. So Tour 7 is when we really start to get, this is where the rubber meets the road as far as the tours. You're now at the $100,000 per match, so you can really start to build up your bankroll once you get good at Tour 7. And Tour 7 is key, and staying at Tour 7 until you get your clubs to where you like them as you move up the scale is really key too. You don't want to jump up with too undeveloped clubs, and Tour 7 is a great spot because you have access to every club in the game now. You definitely want to get in my opinion, you want to get a Rapier, you want to get a Nirvana, and you want to get a Spitfire, and you want to work on their levels. But you want to get them before you start going up, because you're going to need some of that long distance in case you find yourself in trouble. So in Tour 7, they've changed a lot of these courses in Tour 7. So what's happened now is that before you could play pretty much every Tour 7 course with a Marlin ball, and occasionally you'd have to pull out a better ball. But the way they've got it now is the courses that are in Tour 7 are requiring a little bit better ball in some cases. So don't be surprised when you're playing Tour 7 if you find yourself going, wow, that Navigator and Quasar are not going to get it done. Sometimes you're going to find the Katana's not going to get it done. So you'll have to adjust for that as you go through them. Here you're going to start playing, like I said, for 100,000 coins. We're going to be in the middle position. So this is going to be the first tour where you're going to be hitting back. So a lot of those, any of these courses that you found in Tour 2, and you thought, oh, those are pretty, I can knock those out no problem. Here you're going to be playing from that second tee, and it's really going to change how you're going to come at some of these holes. You're going to have anywhere from 2 to 12 mile an hour wind. So in Tour 6, I believe you have from 1 to 12 mile an hour wind. So the wind is not drastically different than what you were dealing with in Tour 6. So if you like to play with a white ball a lot, or if you like to play with the lower tier balls, you have the potential of having some pretty big wind. So as you start to get into the Pro Series courses, you are really going to have to start, if you haven't already, and you probably struggled big time in Tour 5 and 6 if you don't have some way of adjusting for the wind. But in Tour 7, the competition's going to step up just a bit because of the dollar figures. 100,000 coins, people are going to be playing just a little bit better, and that wind, if you're playing against somebody that has a method for dealing with that wind, then they're going to consistently beat you. So you really want to have some type of system in place to address the wind. Now, I use the wind ring method, as all of you know, and if you watch any of my videos, you know that I use the ring method. And so you got to have some system for dealing with that. Our needle speed is going to be 20% faster here, and clam points, we're going to get 10 points for every time we win. And the opponent's spin is hidden, so you're not going to be able to see what kind of spin your opponent puts on the ball, whether top spin, side spin, whatever. You're not going to be able to see any of that spin. You should have, I think it's 1,770 trophies if you max out Tour number 7. So if your goal is to be a max trophy player, it's really important that you max these tours out as you go through them, because when you get up to Tour, when you get to Tour 10, you'll have a very difficult time going back to Tour 7 even and getting live opponents. So unless it's during a tournament and people are actually practicing those holes, so there's a bunch of people playing them, you're gonna have a hard time finding an opponent, and you're gonna end up getting matched up with replays a lot, and those replays are all cherry picked, and so it's really hard to beat them in the shootouts, especially if you're just dropping down for a bit and you're not you haven't refamiliarized yourself with the shootout holes. You're going to end up losing some of those trophies, and they're super difficult to get back. So just be cognizant of that when you go up. If your goal is to go for max trophies, that if you want to go back down and play in some of these tours, you're going to have a little bit harder time, maintaining your max trophy stuff. But I think it's 1,770 trophies if you max out Tour 7 and haven't played any games at all on Tour 8. But this is a tour that you can stay out for a while. If your goal is just to play and have fun, and you're not really looking to try and get into the high coin stakes, and also as you go up the scale, you're definitely going to have to start having a better collection of better balls. Because after Tour 7, Tour 8, when you start getting into Tour 9 where it's $1 million a hole, you can't afford to go out there and go, well, my opponent brought a Titan. I don't want to waste a Titan. I'm going to use a Marlin and then lose the hole because they brought a Titan and you brought a Marlin. You can't do that. As you go up these scales, especially when you go second, if your opponent hit their shot and they hit that shot because they brought out a big ball, guess what? You're going to have to do what it takes to stay on pace with them. And so you're going to find yourself from Tour 7 on definitely having to dig into your ball bag a little bit more often. So just be aware of that. All right, so I will go through and we'll take a look at the Santa Ventura, Oasis, and Sunshine Glade holes, and we'll talk about some Tour 7 strategy. All right, thanks for watching.